All right. Hi, everybody. I am Becky O'Neill, and thank you very much for being here with me today. We're going to talk about the subject of clarity as it relates to your business and also to your life. For women, business is personal. It's almost impossible to separate the two. If something's going on in your personal life, it's going to affect your business. So everything that I talk about as with business is always has the life element in it. So, but today we're going to speak about clarity as it relates to your business. And what is it that what we mean by clarity? Clarity is the picture in your mind of what you do with your business. Most people, if you say, what do you do? They can tell you right away. I'm a hairdresser, I'm an author, I'm a coach, I'm this. So everyone kind of knows what they do, but I want to get deeper into this subject of clarity because it's super important. I looked up the subject of clarity or the definition just because I was curious what the dictionary says it is, but the quality of being coherent. So really it's just obviously just being clear. I like to think of it as an understanding what you do, but not just what, why, for who, and what it means if you don't have it. Okay. So let me just make sure that I have all of my settings here the way I need them. Okay, I think that's good. All right, very good. So why do you need clarity in your business? Why does it matter? I think of having clarity in your business as being like a destination or a point on your GPS. If you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? And it isn't just as simple as what services you provide. It can also be a lot deeper than that. And why is it important to go deeper? A lot of times in business, as you know, you can get very sidetracked, busy. You can lose some kind of your steam, so to speak. So it can also be a strong motivator if you know why you do what you do. So I spend a lot of time with my clients talking about that. Why do you do what you do? Why does it feel good? Why is it important? Why is it important to you? Why is it important to your clients? Um, that really helps to put the meat into the services that you provide or the product that you create or the art that you sell, whatever it is. If it doesn't have that heart and that feeling behind it, then it's not going to really be, it's hard to differentiate you from anyone else. It's really your why that makes the difference. Even if you're a hairdresser, for instance, or you do nails, if you don't have a strong why you do what you do, then you are just a dime a dozen. There's lots of people who do what you do. You have to know why. And when someone asks you, if you get all jazzed up about your why, it translates to that person and then they trust you more and they want to work with you. So that's why I spend a good bit of time talking about this subject of clarity. So when you're thinking about clarity as it relates to your business, I just want you to go deep. Think about, you can start with, we can do some worksheets on this at some future point. Maybe I'll post them along with this video, but you can go through the quick points. What do I do? Most people know that. Even who do I do it for is a fairly easy one for most people, not everyone, but what, for who, where, all those questions. But the why, I want you to spend some time on that. And I want you to not feel any certain way about why. So if you sit down and do some brainstormings on the subject of why, don't edit yourself, don't censor yourself. And if you come up with like one of your big first whys is because I want to make money, totally fine. We're all in business to make money. So there's nothing wrong with wanting to make money. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make a lot of money. Okay? So don't feel a certain kind of way or judge yourself or feel shame about whatever your whys are. But make sure you keep listing things until you really get to kind of the emotional component, the reasons kind of in your heart and your soul that really cause you to want to do this particular thing and give this particular thing out to the world. If you can get in touch with that emotional piece, that's where the motivation comes from, where we get a little burned out sometimes. You can revisit that and kind of sit in that space and remember why you started your business and why you want to do what you do. And it can be a big catalyst for growth when the time comes for a big push. It can be a catalyst just to get you to sit down at your desk if you need to. It can be a catalyst for you to keep going when things go wrong, so that why is super important. And I would recommend that you spend as much time thinking about that as possible. And then who you do it for, that's not as hard for some people as it is for others. Stylists do hair for people who come into their salon. Sometimes people specialize in either men or women or whatever. But generally speaking, if you have a kind of a physical workspace where people come to you, the who you do it for is usually a little easier. But for people like coaches, sometimes authors, even artists and all sorts of people, who can be a little bit elusive sometimes. So who you do it for is a really important thing for you to think about. And you might have to revisit that a couple of times, maybe a year, because your services may change, your focus may change. The people who are being drawn to you suddenly may change. You may think it's this kind of people or that type of person, but other people are kind of coming into your sphere. And the who you do it for is important because it relates to marketing, obviously, and that's super important. We want to be sure that no matter what business we're in, we can reach those people. And a lot of that is even through just intention. Never mind all the social media and paid advertising, that is a bigger piece of it. But a lot of times, if you have a clear picture, clarity on who you do your work for, those people are actually kind of drawn to you energetically. And if you've never done a lot of work in, that kind of energetic field, don't be put off by the idea of it. It's surprising when you have clarity on these points of what you do and why you do it and who you do it for, it will suddenly start to appear in your life. And then you can fine tune your marketing and your messaging and your products and things to fit the people who need what you offer, because what you offer is so super important. But if you are not clear in your mind and clear in your intentions and your actions, it just gets scattered. It gets scattered. Your marketing sounds scattered. Your energy around it can be scattered. And sometimes your work, your final product, is a little scattered. So my story a little bit around this piece of clarity and why I feel like it's so important. This is the first piece of this session that I wanted to teach, is because for me, when COVID hit, I became, like so many people, working remotely. I had always been kind of an in-person person. So, I had to figure out marketing, social media, who I was speaking to, who I needed to network with, how to network. And I became extremely, extremely confused about who and even what it was that I was trying to accomplish. And as long as I wasn't able to get to that root clarity on those points, I really did float around a bit, and it was extremely frustrating. And I almost gave up until I finally sat down for about the 100th time. So this wasn't a singular effort, but finally kind of got a little mad at it. That's my process. I have to get mad at something in order to really push through it. Hopefully you don't make things as hard on yourself as I do, but I was like, I'm just going to choose. And that's brings me to the last point, which is how to figure it out if you haven't been able to come to it, or if you're stuck. A lot of times it really is a matter of just choosing. Maybe the product or service that you offer, it could be for anyone, but that doesn't equate to good marketing. You maybe have to choose. This helped to unglue me a little bit. Someone I was working with, because I work with coaches too, someone said to me, you really don't have to pick, you don't have to stick with just one. Maybe this year you speak to women in a particular field, or or choose men. I mean, whatever it is. So I finally was like, well, I can teach business to men. I can teach, so I was afraid to choose, to pick in my mind who my person is, who I'm looking for, who I'm speaking to, because I didn't want to exclude anyone. But by not being specific enough, no one was coming. And that was so bizarre to me. But once I decided that I would choose to work with women, I do still have some men clients that still come to me. And that's the interesting thing. People will still come to you if they need you. But now that I know, I am so busy, I can barely keep up. And I want that for you too. I want you to be as busy as you want to be, as busy as you need to be. I want your products and services to be perfect for your client, which it will be. I mean, perfection, but if they come to you needing what you offer, it's perfect in what they need from you. So I had to come to that. How do I figure it out? And my who was actually the hardest part for me. So again, if you're not super clear about who your person is, do the same deep dive as I recommend with the why, and just write it all out. And if at first you write it out and you're like, I'm just having all these feelings about having to choose this particular person, or here's another one. What if you think that you're speaking to, I don't know, adolescent teenagers and their parents, but it's really mature adults that are coming to you? You're like, well, I'm thinking I'm speaking to this person, but there's obviously a need in this area and these people are coming to me. Well, does it mean you can't do one or the other? But for a period of time, it's really good to focus on who it is you're going to speak to for a period of time. So I recommend this, going through this exercise every time you start a new project or offer a new service, or at least once a year, do a review with your business coach or at least by yourself where you look at all of these pieces of clarity, revisit them, make sure that they still fit your business, still fit what it is that you're trying to accomplish, revise it as needed, and then keep it moving. And I think if you find that you have these pieces super concrete, maybe even put them some kind of way visually, if you're a visual person like I am, sometimes it helps to have little notes and things that you can review. It will really keep people coming to you, and it will also keep you focused, especially in times of challenges. It'll keep you motivated and moving forward. So that is about what I have to offer as far as this topic of clarity. And I wanted to let you know that if you have any questions, please let me know. For the people who are here live, feel free, if you have questions, to put them in the chat. Hopefully, if I don't have any questions today, feel free to come back to me. I'm always available to answer questions on these topics. I love to talk about them. So feel free to send me messages. We can get on a discovery call and talk about it if you want to get into this subject a little bit more. But I think you'll find as you work with me that I'm pretty short and sweet and to the point. And I hope that suits your time frame too. So, all right, very good. Well, let me check and see if there's any questions from anybody today.